Who wants to make lots of money?
Me.
Who wants lots of clients?
Me.
Who wants to run a social media marketing agency?
Me.
Who wants to spend time with mommy? Ah! I'm going to show you how to start social media marketing as a beginner step by step in 2019. So you're going to want to watch this entire video, comment below and let me know where you're starting from, how many clients you have, and let's cue that intro and get started in the step-by-step training. So in this video, I am going to be showing you how to start social media marketing as a beginner in 2019, step by step, how to begin social media marketing with no experience, how to start social media marketing with no money. That's right, no money. The first point that I want to make, and this is so important, is if you want to make $30,000, $45,000 a year, you actually only need 3 clients in order to achieve that, which is so crazy. Most people think that they need this massive clientele and a huge office and all of these crazy things. You actually only need 3 clients in order to make between $30,000 and $45,000 per year. Let that sink in. One of the most common questions I get is, do I need experience to begin social media marketing? And the second most common question I get is, do I need money to begin social media marketing? And then the third question people ask is, how do I find clients that are willing to pay me for the services that I provide? How do I find my first client as a social media manager? And I'm going to answer all 3 of those questions in this video. By the time you leave this video, you will know how to start social media marketing with no experience, how to start social media marketing with no money, and how you can find your first or your next client as a social media manager. The words social media manager and social media marketing agency are kind of synonymous with each other. So sometimes I might say social media marketing, sometimes I might say social media manager. Don't get confused if I use the two, because to an extent they're interchangeably able to be used. So here's what a social media manager does. One of the very first things that you're going to do is you are going to find businesses who need support with their social media. How do you know? Well, one of the easy ways is to just look for businesses whose social media presences aren't up to par. That could include their Facebook page, their Twitter, their Instagram profile. It could include LinkedIn. It could be their YouTube channel. It could even be their Google reviews. And how do you know if a company needs a little bit of help? Well, you've seen Facebook pages that are doing a great job. You've seen Twitter accounts like Wendy's and Burger King and all these different social media accounts that are thriving. They're interacting, they're putting content out. A social media manager essentially puts out great content and gives life to a business. One of the most common issues that actually small businesses have is that they don't quite have a massive budget to bring in an entire marketing person, but they know that they need to be on social media because they see their competitors on social media. They wish that they had the time to post. They don't know what to post. And to be totally honest, they're focusing on their zone of genius, which might be hairstyling or being an awesome doctor. It makes a lot of sense, but those people who run their own business don't always specialize in marketing. And they've probably heard from colleagues, friends, mentors that they need support in social media. The market is wide open for social media managers right now. In fact, a quick Google search finds 49,757 social media marketing jobs available on Indeed, 33,687 jobs on Glassdoor, 61,664 social media marketing specialist jobs, 38,000 and up social media marketing jobs on LinkedIn. It's crazy because that wasn't even a deep dive, but there are hundreds of thousands of businesses that are looking for help in social media. And while they might think, oh my gosh, I need to hire a marketing professional, in reality, they just need someone like you who understands a little bit more than them. When I got started as a social media manager, I was not someone with a formal marketing degree. I didn't have any real experience as a marketer, and I was actually working as a hairstylist. So like highlights were my specialty. A client came in one day and she said that her and her husband owned this little chicken company. And she looks at me and says, "Can you show me your tweeter?" And immediately I burst out laughing, but I also knew, okay, I may not be an expert in social media, but in this moment, I can be an expert to her and help her to understand how they can set up Twitter, how they can get their Facebook page going, how to find content. And though I didn't realize it at the time, they became my very first clients and they were my client for years. The key to getting started is recognizing that you do not have to be an expert, you just have to be an expert to someone else. Businesses need a social media presence. When people search for a business on social media, they're looking for signs of life. Hello? Anyone here? Social media is one of the first places that people look to find if a company is alive, if they care about their customers. You've probably done this before. When you wanted to purchase something, you went and looked at their reviews, if they had content that they had put up recently. It's one of the ways that we know, okay, there's social proof, there are signs of life here. This company cares and they reply to comments. They're putting content out there. They're making an effort. If small businesses don't have an active social media presence, they're in danger of being left behind, and you can support them. And there's a massive need in the market right now for you. Now, possibly one of my favorite things about being a social media manager, getting started as a social media manager from scratch in 2019, is that you do not have to have any money to get started. That's right, you do not need an office, a business card, a website. You don't need a team. There's essentially no overhead, which makes it an incredibly profitable business. And that's why I was so excited about building my business as a social media manager. Now, of course, I have a fancy office today, but that's because we've gone on to do over $3 million over the last 3.5 years since I got started. So don't let that mislead you. You can get started even if your only spare spot is a closet in the hallway where you can lock yourself in and hopefully get a moment of peace from your kids while you send out an email or two. So we're gonna dive on into the question that people always ask: how do I get new clients? How do I get my first client as a social media manager? Before we dive into that, I actually want to do a little bit of a step that is going to help you to start getting excited about this. I want you to comment below with 3 things. Number 1, I want you to comment how many clients you would like to secure. If it's 3, so that you can kind of end up in that $30,000 to $45,000 a year range, comment I'd like to get 3 clients. If it's just 1 client to help you pay the mortgage, get groceries, cover some expenses around the house, you can comment that you'd like to get 1 client. And if you're like, you know what, this is really exciting to me and I see all the possibility, feel free to comment, I'm open to the possibility of how many clients I can take on. Number 2, I want you to comment with how much money you need to get started, because this is going to help to anchor it in your brain. How much money do you need to get started as a social media manager? Number 3, how much experience do you need to have as a social media manager? This is going to test your learning skills because I want to see if you listen to my story about being a hairstylist. Hint, one of the keys to becoming a successful social media manager is your ability to listen and take action. Got it? All right, I'm gonna give you 3 ways to find your first client. And these are 3 ways that I have used even recently to secure clients. Number 1, look to your network. I am willing to bet that you have friends, family, people that you already know who are looking for some support for their businesses, whether it's a small business or a business that is thriving, and they need some help from someone who understands just a little bit more than them about social media. One of the simplest ways to get started with building out in your existing network is just simply to post on your social media, hey guys, I'm starting a social media marketing business. I'm curious, does anyone need help with social media? You'll be surprised sometimes by how many people will reach out and say like, actually, yes, this is exactly what I've been looking for. Number 2, I'm going to show you one of my favorite ways to find clients, especially as you grow your skill set. Side note, you do not have to understand Facebook advertising yet. That is a more advanced skill set as you start to ascend your skill set, so don't stress about it. However, this tool has allowed me to see who does not currently have a marketing team in place. It is called the Facebook Pixel Helper. It is a Google Chrome extension, and you add it to your desktop. Basically, what you're gonna do is anytime you look at a website, it's gonna show you, just like this, whether or not that company has a pixel on their website. If they don't have a pixel, it's a good indication that they need some support because they're not working with someone in marketing. It means that they're not capturing the traffic that's already going to their website for potential ads down the road. That's a sign that that is a company you would immediately want to reach out to because they are in desperate need. Okay guys, so this is exactly how I would use the Facebook Pixel Helper. Essentially, you are going to go to Facebook Pixel Helper, Google Chrome, and you're going to add this right here, and it's going to show up like this. So as you can see, this is what a website looks like with no pixels on it. Whereas if you look at small businesses or businesses that you know, I'm going to do Minnesota because that's where I'm from. If you're from Minnesota, comment below. I have a special sweet spot in my heart for all my Minnesota peeps. So let's grab these. So for example, this company here has no pixel on it. This company here has pixels on it. Doesn't mean that they're necessarily not in need of advertising and social media help. It just means that they don't have a pixel in place, so they probably don't have a team helping them. No pixels found. This would be another great lead. And number 3, I love using LinkedIn. I think it's one of the most powerful ways to quickly build your clientele. In fact, just the other day, Ira, who is a new member to Social Media United, said that within 10 days of using LinkedIn the way that I recommend, he was able to secure $10,000 worth of contracts that are currently pending. It's so exciting. LinkedIn is so powerful, and that was how I got my next big push in social media management. Within just a couple of months of using LinkedIn, I had secured $27,500 worth of contracts and started to realize, oh my gosh, this is a real business that is going to be able to take off. And I saw the potential. I was so excited, and I continued to use LinkedIn to build to over $100,000 a year, and then we built to $1 million a year run rate. So that's kind of fun. If you're like, okay, I'm a little bit excited about this, Rachel, but I'm kind of nervous too, like, how do I know that this will work for me or that I can learn social media? I've got some good news for you. I actually have a podcast called Social Media Secrets where I dive into different facets of social media. Listening to podcasts is one of the ways that I built out my skill set as a social media manager, and you can too. It's totally free. We will link to it in the bio below. It's called Social Media Secrets with Rachel Pedersen, and several times a week I upload new episodes that will help you to develop your skill set. So you can listen to them real fast in the car, you can listen to them when you're cleaning the house. It's an easy way to absorb a ton of information that will help you to grow at a very rapid pace. And I just wanted to share a couple of awesome testimonials, so let's check these out right here because I think these are pretty powerful. I want you to check out this awesome story from Carrie. Carrie says, my first client paid their first invoice. I officially have a paying client. This is so much fun. What's so cool is I know Carrie's story even after that, and she has since gone on to build a very successful business that she runs from home, and she's hoping to retire her husband soon. Gotta point out another awesome story, and that is Shaban, who is an incredible, strong single mom. She says, closed 2 new deals. We are on track for our goal of 25K this month. And we also want to peek at Gabby's story. And she says, signed my first official client, not internships or hourly, and got 2 discovery calls set with prospects for later this week. Gabby has continued. Also, I know her story. She's built an incredibly successful business and she's amazing. So it's so great to see these stories and know kind of what happens in the follow-up as well. You might be wondering, how much do clients charge? How much money can I make doing this? And while your actual results may be better, worse, the same as mine or the other people whose stories I share, it is definitely something that I believe is worth taking a leap into, especially when you have that little twinge of, how am I going to handle a maternity leave? Can we afford to have another baby? How am I going to pay for groceries this month? And I've heard countless stories from people who have learned to become successful social media managers. Now, if you're excited by this possibility, there is also a link in the bio below where I actually have an entire program called Social Media United. It is just $1 for 7 days to get started. And what's awesome is you can dive on in, grab my templates, get a super fast jump start into learning how to be a social media manager, how to find clients. The 10 days to 1K challenge is actually inside of Social Media United, how we use LinkedIn to secure tons of new clients. So if you just click that link below, you can get started for $1, which is pretty awesome. There's also a link in the bio below called how much does a social media manager make? Or as I like to call it, social media managers can make what? So you can check that out. And if you like this video, be sure to subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and leave a comment and tell me what has you the most excited. I will catch you guys in the next video.